When I was 8, my favorite thing was a sleepover. As an only child, the idea of spending the night with someone else to talk to as you went to sleep was very novel. I planned my weekends around others' birthdays, leaving the option open that after the party I would stay over, obviously. My parents were very agreeable to me not being home, and I was never really questioned about the details of where or who I was with. I don't think this was parenting ignorance. No. But more about how incredibly uncool I was, even at 8. The most in trouble I'd ever been in was when I sold some fruit stripe gum from the Randalls because I liked the color zebra pattern and was afraid to ask my dad for something he would call frivolous. Or whatever that meant. But one Sunday I got in big trouble after spending the night with this super Christian kid at my school. Let's call her Mary Archer. Mary was also an only child, and her parents loved having kids over. She even had a bunk bed, so kids would be more likely to stay at her house than to go elsewhere. We could stay up late and play Pictionary and eat pizza and watch cartoons, with one rule: we had to go to Sunday school in the morning. Now, my family is not Christian. Is not religious at all. Okay, my mom believes in ghosts and that she will see all her 50-plus cats in the afterlife, but that is the sum of our family's spiritual beliefs. My dad is very atheist. And growing up, I remember feeling weird whenever I would say a prayer or spoke about God because it would drive my dad a little nuts. He makes snide comments about religious bumper stickers or be indignant with people who would say, God bless you, or even encourage me not to say the Pledge of Allegiance while it still had under God. His fervent atheism actually made me rebel to be a bit more spiritual. I had to come to my own lack of belief about a supreme being on my own after college. So I knew that if I went to Sunday school, I was going to have to do it on the DL and make sure that my parents didn't know I was going to church with Mary. Mary's family was part of the fellowship of Second Baptist Church. It's a pretty hell-oriented church. And I remember actively worrying about the state of my dad's soul after the first time I went. It was also a very rich church, and Sunday school was like a really big rock show with a huge PowerPoint presentation and 1,000 kids singing VeggieTale songs. It was inspiring. And there were cookies and lemonade, and I wanted to go back so bad. By the third visit, though, the facade of my Sunday morning lies was starting to crumble. My parents noticed that I was very quiet on the ride home from Mary's house each Sunday afternoon, and I started to stress out that I didn't know any of the answers to any of the questions the youth pastor would be asking during the presentation because I never read the Bible, and I didn't like feeling dumb, so I checked out a picture book Bible from the library, which alarmed my dad a bit, but he never told me I couldn't read a book, so he didn't press me hard on it. The fourth time, though, I got busted. I really wanted to get a question right during the service. I wanted the high five from the pastor and the glory of God, a.k.a. the full-time Santa that was promised to all the good children who know the answers. My shock came when they put a fish symbol on the screen and asked if anyone knew what it was. I stood up on that banquet chair and I screamed really loud to get that microphone guy's attention, and he came running over. Finally, I knew something. I'd seen that symbol. I'd seen it before on my dad's car. It was silver. It looked a little different on the screen, but I'd seen that and I knew what it was. And I was even a little bit excited that maybe my dad was going to be saved after all, you know? He had this symbol on his car. Maybe I didn't understand his beliefs as well as I thought. The microphone was put in front of my face. That's a Darwin fish! I yelled. The room got got kind of quiet, and the pastor looked at me with a little bit of shock and a little bit of concern. I mean, I think that's the Darwin fish. It looks a little different. It's supposed to have feet, and it's supposed to say Darwin in it. But the microphone had just been snapshot of my face, and a chaperone grabbed me by the hand and took me out into the hallway. Mary's parents were called, and then my parents were called. And my parents were really mad at Mary's parents, which made them really mad that they were mad because they were just trying to teach me about God, and it was not a good Sunday afternoon. And I did not get to stay at Mary's house ever again. We still hung out at school, and we even tried to figure out why our parents were so upset or why the church got so mad at me, but even Mary couldn't even really figure it out, and Google was not available to help back then. I kept reading various Christian books at the library, but Darwin never came up once. After a while, I got obsessed with Xenon, Warrior Princess, and Greek myths, and I forgot about the whole thing. But then it was 7th grade science, and we talked about evolution. Oh. I get it. Adults are dumb. Take your political arguments out on someone your own fucking size.